Hi friends, we are on lesson 6, page 665. We're talking about time intervals today. So to determine a time interval, we need to find the amount of time that passes from the start of an activity to the end of an activity. So let's look at example number 1. Read it with me. Evan's mother put biscuits in the oven at 5:10 p.m. She took them out of the oven at 5:27 p.m. How much time passed from the time she put the biscuits in the oven to the time she took them out? So we're going to find the interval from 5:10 to 5:27. Find the start time. So remember, the start time is 5:10. Now find the end time. The end time is 5:27. Now we're going to count by fives from 5:10, right here, to 5:25, because we see 5:27, we can't count by 5 there. So let's count first. We have 5 minutes to 5:15, 5 more minutes to 5:20, 5 more minutes to 5:25, 2 more minutes to 5:27. Okay, so if we were doing this on the actual clock, we're starting at 5:10 and we're going to count to 5s until 5:25. So here we go. 5, another 5, another 5. Now if I were to count another 5, I would go past. So I'm going to go back. So far I went 5, 10, 15 minutes. Now I need to get to 5:27. Right now I'm at 5:25. So I need to go 2 more, right? 1, 2. That would give me 5:26, 5:27. Remember, I started 5:10. 5, 10, 15, and then 2 more. 16, 17. So 17 minutes passed from 5:10 to 5:27 p.m. The time interval was 17 minutes. So I'm going to write a 17 here and then a 17 here under my time interval. Okay, turn the page with me. Let's look at this page, which is page 666. Okay, let's look at example number 2. The clock shows the time June's choir practice ended in the afternoon. If it was 135 minutes long, what time did it start? So we'd have to count back 135 minutes from 3:15 p.m. The first thing I need to figure out is, how long is 135 minutes? Well, I know that the hour is 60 minutes. So let's find out how many hours there are in 135 minutes. I know there's going to be more than one because 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So what I'm going to do is that since I know it's more than one, I'm going to take 60, that's 1 hour. I'm going to add another 60 minutes and find out how many minutes that is. So 6 plus 6 is 12. So far I have 120 minutes. I'm still not quite to that 135. If you can't already off the top of your head figure out how many more minutes that is, I'm going to take 135 minutes. I'm going to subtract 120 minutes. I have 15 more minutes. So here's 1 hour. Here's 2 hours. So I have 2 hours and 15 minutes to go back in time, right? So let's take a look at our clock. I am going to quickly fill in my blanks. The time interval for choir practice was 135 minutes, or 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right, now we can look at our clock. Okay, so let's look at our clock. We know we have to go back 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I'm going to go back 15 minutes. Here I am at 3:15. I'm going to go back 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15. It's now 3 o'clock. I still have 2 more hours to go back. So let's go 60 minutes all the way around. That's 1 hour. And I need it 1 more hour, so I'm going to go back another 60 minutes. It is now 1 o'clock. So 135 minutes before 3:15 p.m. is 1 p.m. Choir practice started at 1 p.m. Okay, let's look at guided practice. Find the time interval of a movie. Use the number line. All the time interval means is how long this movie lasted. So the movie started at 3:05. Right? We have that right there. It ended at 4:35. We want to know how much time happened in between. So they've used this number line instead of a clock. You do however you want to do it is fine. So let's go back. If we went back from 3:05, I'm sorry, we're not going back, we're going forward. If we jump up to 4:05, it's been 1 hour. We jump another half an hour, it would give us 4:35. So we could say 60 minutes, which is 1 hour, plus 30 minutes is equal to 90 minutes, or we could say 1 hour and 30 minutes. So that was the interval of the movie. We could say 1 hour and 30 minutes. We could say 1 hour and a half. Both of those would be correct. Okay, let's turn to page 667. All right, let's do some practice with our time. Okay, let's look at number 2 first. The following are times of baseball games. Find the time interval, how long they lasted for each. So number 2, the start time, 1:15. The end time, 3:07. So they've used a number line again, so let's use the number line. Here it is. We have a start time of 1:15, an end time of 3:07. So let's go our first hour, right? From 1:15 to 2:15 is 1 hour. 2:15, if we go another hour, that would be 3:15. So that's too much. So they went from 2:15. I know that from 2:15 to 3 o'clock, that's 45 minutes. So now I've gone 1 hour and 45 minutes, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm at 3 o'clock. I need to get to 3:07. So we need another 7 minutes. Okay, I know this is kind of confusing. What we want to do when we're counting time is we want to get to the next hour, the next half an hour, 45 minutes, 15 minutes. Now, why do we want to do it that way? Because it makes it easier to count, right? We know that we could, in 1 hour, we can go from 3 to 4, or in this case, from 1:15 to 2:15. That's easy. That's 1 hour. Now, if I try to figure out, okay, what's the next hour? That would be 3:15. All right, well, that's too far. So could I go 45 minutes? Yeah, because if I go 45 minutes from 2:15 to 3 o'clock, that's 45 minutes. But I'd still have 7 more minutes to make up. So then I could go back and add. I can say 60 minutes plus 45 minutes plus 7 minutes, okay? And then I need to add those all up. Okay, so I'm going to use this corner over here. I'm going to add 60 plus 45 plus 7. 5 and 7 is 12. The 2 there. Group that one. So I have 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 4 more is 11, right? So I have a total of 112 minutes. Okay, let's look at number 3. We have a start time of 12:15 and an end time of 2. If I could see, that looks like 28. So I'm going to write 2:28, just so I can remember. And then we started at 12:15. So they want to know the time between 12:15 and 2:28. So let's draw a number line or a timeline. We start here at 12:15. Okay, we're going to go 1 hour. That would put us at 1:15. So I'm going to put 60 minutes here. We might run out of room, but that's okay. So I'm still not there. Can I go another hour? Yes. The next hour would put me at 2:15, right? If I go another hour, it's 60. So now can I go another hour? Nope. That would put me at 3:15, which is past. Now I have from 2:15 to 2:28. Okay, so can I go a half an hour? Nope, that would put me at 2:45. Can I go 15 minutes? Nope, 15 minutes would put me at 2:30. So I have to use an even smaller increment. So if I can't go 15, can I go 10? See, if I go 10, that would put me at 2:25. So I can go 10. I'm going to put a 10 there. But I still have 3 more minutes. So let me go back and count now, because now I got to, in 3 minutes, I would be at 2:28. So now I'm going to go back and count. I have 60 plus 60. That's 120. Plus 10. Plus 3. So I'm going to add that. 2 plus 1. I'm going to put these little lines so you could see a little easier maybe. That would be 3. That would be 1. So my interval was 133 minutes. We crunched that in there, didn't we? Okay, let's take a look at our clock. Okay, we did that on the timeline. Let's do it on the clock really quick, because I feel like it might be a little bit easier to see and understand the way we did that if you could actually see it on a clock. So we have 12:15. That was our start time. We have to get to 2:28. So the first thing we did was we went an hour, right? So we went 12:15, 1 whole hour, 60 minutes around, right? That's 1 hour. Would now put us at 1:15. Okay, we're not there yet. If we went another hour, we would be at 2:15. So we've gone 2 hours, right? 2 hours. We still need to go 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 more minutes. Okay? Now, I can kind of count my minutes a little bit easier on a clock, but you're not always going to have a clock in front of you. But I wanted you to see, okay, from 2:15, we counted 10 minutes. We got to 2:25, and we knew we needed to go 1, 2, 3 more minutes to 2:28. Okay, let's look at number 4. We have a start time of 1:20, an end time of 5:05. All right, let's see if we can't do this on our number line. Okay, we're going to start at 1:20. We're going to end at 5:05. Okay, so let's go start by going by hours. So 1:20 to the plus 1 hour or 60 minutes would get us to 2:20. All right, I know I can go another hour, which would get us to 3:20. That's another 60 minutes. Can I get another hour? Yeah, that would get me to 4:20. So far I have gone 1, 2, 3 hours. I still need to go more. I need to get to 5:05. Can I go another hour? Nope, I can't get to another hour because then that would take me to 5:20. So let's see. Can I go a half an hour? From 4:20, if I add a half an hour or 30 minutes, so plus 30 would get me to 4:50. Okay, I still have some more time I can go. The question is, how much? So let's try to go in 5-minute or 10-minute increments. So from 4:50, 10 more minutes would get me to 5 o'clock. So let's see, I went 30 here. I'm going to go another 10. I've run out of room. Another 10 would get me to, I'm going to go down, way down here, 5 o'clock. Okay? And then I can see that I still have another 5 minutes to go. So 5, and I think it's going to be better if I do that in a different color. So I went 5 minutes here, and I went 10 minutes here. Now I can go back and count, and I made it to 5:05. So let's go back and count. I have 1 hour. Here was 60 minutes. Another 60 minutes was 2 hours. It got me to 3:20. I went another hour, 4:20. I couldn't go full hour, so then I went 30 minutes, which got me to 4:50. I could still go further, 10 more minutes, got me to 5 o'clock, and then I knew I just had 5 more minutes to go. So let's go add back all those minutes. And I've run out of room, so I'm going to write it down here. I'm going to erase it after, so don't worry about writing it down. Just do it with me. Let's see. I had 60 minutes plus 60 minutes plus 60 minutes, 3 hours, right? So I'm going to add those together. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 more is 18. So far I have 180 minutes. I've gone 3 hours. I need to add those 30 minutes plus 10 more minutes, which was 40 minutes, plus 5 more, which was 45. Now I can add 45 minutes to my 180 minutes. I'm adding 8 plus 4 is 12. So 220 minutes. So I'm going to write 220 right up there. Okay, let's do number 5. We're going to write the time and then draw the hands on the clock to show the time interval. So let's write the time on this clock. The hour hand is pointing at the 12. Well, actually, it's not quite at the 12, because if I look at my minute hand, we are at, if you remember, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use red. I'm going to count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, or 5 times 11. That tells me it's not quite the 12 o'clock hour. It is, in fact, still the 11 o'clock hour. So the time is 11:55. It gets really tricky, especially if you look at this really quick. It might look like 12:55, but 12:55, the hour hand would be closer to the 1. So pay really close attention. Okay, now I need to get from 11:55, I need to go 35 minutes earlier. So now I have to count back from 11:55. So I'm going to erase these little marks that I made so that we can count back and not be confused. All right, I'm going to go back 35 minutes. So let me count back. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 11:35. That means that my minute hand would be pointing at the 4. I'm going to see if I can make that happen over here. There we go. And my hour hand, where would my hour hand be? Would it still be the 11 o'clock hour? It sure would. So it can point a little bit past the 11. Would be fine. Okay, so the time would be 11:20. We could count back. We could go 5, 10, 15, 20. Or if you know that 5 times 4 is 20, you don't have to count back. So 11:20. Okay, let's look at number 6. Let's write what time it is on this clock. Let's look at our hour hand first. It's between the 10 and 11. So it's not quite the 11 o'clock hour. It's still the 10 o'clock hour. If we know that our minute hand is pointing straight down, that tells us that our time is 10:30. You shouldn't have to count that one. You should already know. Okay, we want to go 36 minutes later. So now we're going forward, going clockwise. So let's count 36 minutes. I'm going to use. So let's go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So now, let's stop right there really quick, because now we would move into the 11 o'clock hour. But we still have 6 more minutes to go, because we've only gone 30 minutes. Half around the clock is 30 minutes. So I know already that my hour is going to be 11 o'clock. And now I'm going to go 6 minutes past. So really, it's 6 minutes past 11, right? So I can already write that right over here. I can write 11. Oops. 11:06. Okay, now let's draw that on the clock. What does that look like if I'm drawing that on the clock? My minute hand is going to be at 06. So if I know that this is 5 minutes, it's going to be right past that at the 06. My hour hand, it's the 11 o'clock hour, and it's just past the 11 o'clock hour, so my hour hand can still touch that 11. And that's what that looks like. Okay, let's turn the page to 668. Let's look at number 7 together. Tyrone started mowing lawns at 1:10 p.m. He finished mowing lawns at 4:05 p.m. How much time did Tyrone spend mowing lawns? Okay, let's take a look at this one on the clock. Tyrone started mowing lawns at 1:10. I'm going to move that to 1:10. I'm going to write that right there. Okay. He finished mowing lawns at 4:05. So this is where we need to get. We're going to go in 1 hour increments or 60 minutes at a time. Okay, until we can't do that anymore, and then we'll get smaller increments. So let's go 1 hour. From 1:10, we go 60 minutes around the clock. We get to 2:10. We're not there yet. We need to get to 4:05. So let's do another 60 minutes or 1 hour. And I'm going to actually write that up here. So I've gone 60. I'm going to go another 60. So from 2:10 to 3:10. Not quite there. I need to get to 4:05. So if I go 1 more hour, I'd get to 4:10. Now, I could do that. I can go 1 more hour and get to 4:10. And then just take away 5 minutes, right? Because now I'm at 4:10, but I only have to go back 5 more minutes. So instead of adding 60, I could add 50. Okay? sometimes it's easier to do it that way instead of trying to figure out, okay, 15-minute increments. If I'm so close to that next hour, I can move that whole hour and then just move back 5. Okay, and then I just have to remember to take away, whoops, it wouldn't be 50. It would be 55. To take away those 5 minutes. All right, so I know 60 plus 60 is 120. So we're going to add our minutes. If I add 55 more minutes, 170 minutes. Okay, let's look at number 8. It takes Louisa 1 hour and 30 minutes to get to her aunt's house. She leaves at 4 p.m. Draw the hands on the clock to show the time she will get to her aunt's house, and then write the time. Okay, so it takes her 1 hour and 30 minutes to get to her aunt's house. She leaves at 4. So I have 4 o'clock on my clock. Let's go 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I know if I go 1 hour from 4 o'clock, 60 minutes around the clock, it's 5 o'clock. Now I need to go 30 minutes, which is the same as half an hour. So if you remember from 2nd grade or from our other lesson yesterday, a half an hour or 30 minutes is halfway around the clock. So it's now 5:30. So let's go ahead and write that on the clock, or draw our hands on our face. So we're going to put the hour hand right there, and then the minute hand right there. Okay, and that is 5:30. Okay, we're not going to worry about our hot problems today. Go ahead and do your homework, and I will see you guys on the next lesson.